It's hard to claim that Joseph Stalin, a man who adopted the honorific title the Son of Nations, wasn't a narcissist. But not few people who had personal relations with him described him as a son in the best sense possible. When you're in his presence, you feel a warm and pleasant ray of sunshine caressing your face. As Artyom Sergeyev, a general in the Soviet army, said, everyone was anxious to meet him, and he said it after Stalin had died, so it wasn't out of fear of being killed if he said otherwise. He created a sense that there was now a bond that linked them forever, and it was true to senior as well as to low-level officials. He made children feel like adults and feel important. The Soviet defense minister, Georgy Zhukov, said that after the first time he met him, he couldn't fall asleep out of excitement. The appearance of J.V. Stalin, his quiet voice, the correctness and depth of his judgments, the attention with which he heard the report made a great impression on me. Pavel Sudoplatov, a senior officer in the Soviet intelligence services, wrote in his memoir in 1994 that it was hard to imagine such a man could deceive you. His reactions were so natural, without the slightest sense of him posing. Stalin, as the historian Simon Montefiore writes in his book about the private life of Stalin, did not reach his high status by force, but with charm. He was a people's person and he charmed them. So how could this seemingly likable person, besides being a narcissist, become the biggest mass murderer in human history? First, the mistake many people make is that they assume a person who's charming and attentive cannot be a narcissist. Psychologically speaking, the exact opposite is true. With narcissists of Stalin's type, the strategic and malignant, charisma, paying attention to people and being accessible are not signs of care to others and humility. They're tools. Stalin made people around him feel seen so they would open up to him, tell him all of their secrets, and this way he got the feeling of control he so desperately needed. Stalin was a deeply paranoid person who suspected anyone they might stab him in the back. He would invite senior officials to have dinner at his house, but they knew this might be the last dinner they will ever have, but of course they couldn't decline. Stalin would keep them drinking alcohol non-stop while diluting his own glass with water so he could remain in control in order to make them blurt out things they had hidden from him and make him tell him all of the uncensored truth now that they were drunk and disinhibited. By the way, if you want to see an astonishingly precise example of this tactic in a fictional character, watch the Netflix series The Beast in Me. Matthew Rhys plays a psychopathic narcissist who uses a facade of listening and empathy toward the female protagonist in order to understand what drives her and later use it against her. Naturally, she initially falls under his spell and at times relates to him as if he were a soulmate. The reason Stalin did not keep his distance from junior employees was that he wanted to make it clear that he stood at the top of the pyramid not because of a hierarchical structure in which he merely occupied a role. His authority and power did not come from the position, it came from him. He was the position, he was the state, he was the sun. In this way, people's loyalty was redirected from loyalty to the system to loyalty to a specific individual. Hope you found this clip helpful and that you understand human nature a bit better now. Thank you for watching and see you at the next video.